Soap royalty is in the studio sitting right next to me. Ian Buchanan is next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I actually have this on album. Big Country. Remember them? They're from Scotland.
Yes.
From 1984, you guys. It's called In a Big Country. This was their number one hit in America. It's a big hit around the world. It's Scottish, so I thought of you.
Thank you.
I love the 80s. I miss them so much. Hi, welcome to Spotlight On. I'm James Lott Jr. Little Big Country, and rest in peace to the lead singer who actually I think he killed himself. Or something. I did something like that, something strange like that or something. But this album, I played this album to death. It was so good. So good. And I play it because the guy sitting next to me is Scottish. But basically you're American at this point, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I'm American.
You're American.
Scots American.
Scottish American. Do you know in Sacramento there's a Scottish American Rights Center?
Yeah.
I used to pass by it all the time.
Yeah, and Fresno has a big Scottish community, which I used to go there all the time. So, yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like, who knew the Central Valley?
I've done more Scottish things here than I ever did in Scotland.
He's done TV, he's done daytime, nighttime, comedy, drama, David Lynchian stuff. He's done movies,
And survived
the web,
it.
And survived. He did a couple things with David Lynch.
Yeah.
Movies, web, streaming. Of course, Ian Buchanan. That's always going to stop there. You're wonderful.
Well, thank you, James. I appreciate
Welcome to
that.
the show.
It's very nice to be here. Thank you.
And of course, my TGH Report cohorts are here. The far left, that gentleman there, Mr. Frank Moran.
Hey everybody, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie.
He has some Mark J. Freeman hair going on. Like it's
Trying my best.
And the girl with her hair today, which has been the same for a while, Lacretia Lyon.
Yes, guys, I'm Lacretia Lyon. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
And the guy sitting next to me, of course, is an Emmy winner, and he can rock a kilt. There you go.
Wow. How many people can say that?
Well, not many. Only none of you say that, of course. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Very
Very happy to be here.
He just did a little guest in on our GH Report towards the end, and I was just saying how he has been on 3 of the 4 soaps on the air right now. Can you just tell us back in the day when there was like 23 soaps on the air, like how different it feels these days? Because you've been in the game for a while.
It's very different. I think it's very different. It used to be such a large community. It was a great community, and it's kind of shrunk, of course. A lot.
Yeah.
It's still like a very tight community, but it's definitely, but also daytime includes, the morning shows, and includes the game shows, and includes the cooking shows and everything else now. So that is, it's still a fairly large group of people that run. I did do a crossover in Wynara though, so I've been on.
Oh, you've been on the show. Oh,
yeah.
I think
good. Just to say that I have.
So then you've been all 4. You've been all 4 then.
I crossed the hall twice, I think.
Well, they're right by each other across Television City.
Yeah.
Was it part of the Sheila storyline?
Yes, it was.
Okay, of course.
Or Lauren, I think, or
Lauren,
Sheila or something. Yeah.
That storyline went on for years. That was a great storyline.
Yeah, it was.
For years, and you were a part of that. You have a grown daughter too on that show. They had her on for a while, Susan or whatever, Mary or Susan. You and Sheila, your character.
We did?
Yeah, you did. They wrote that in later.
Oh, Mary.
Mary, yes, Mary.
Yes.
Sorry, I lose one of the names, Mary.
Yes, I remember when they were. I remember because twins played the baby.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember because they were both kind of very active children, and as children are.
Yes.
But the mother said, or whoever said, fill all your pockets with Pepperidge Farm goldfish. It'll keep them. So I'd hold the kid, and the kid would be crawling all over me, going into either one of them, like a sloth, all my pockets, upside down, going in every single pocket, and I was like, okay, this works.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes, this works, like baby bait. This works.
And goldfish are good.
Goldfish are good, but like every single pocket, like it looked like they were stealing from me, like robbing me. That was little Mary.
Also, a belated happy birthday. You had a birthday last month.
I did. Yes.
You
did.
I
did.
Yes. Just belated birthday. I didn't say ages or anything. I'm just saying you had a birthday.
Yeah, I did. I had a birthday.
So did you celebrate? Did you do anything?
No, I usually don't, but it was nice. Other people tend to make a fuss about it, but I don't usually. It comes and goes very quietly.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
It happens when you get a little older sometimes. You're like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
The fun times are over.
Yeah, I just.
Wow, James.
Boy,
yeah.
I'm older too, so I'm like, whatever. It's like, just take me out to dinner maybe, and I'll be happy. That's about it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. That's good.
Yeah. Now, before we get into actuals, we have some main shows that he has done that you guys know him from. But I want to do a little word association because you've done so much. I just want you to tell us the first thing that comes to mind. It could be a word, phrase.
Does it have to be kind of family friendly or
Yeah, if something slips out, let it slip out.
Okay.
All right. Panic room.
Just one word?
Hey, get a couple words. Say a couple words.
Great. Fun.
This is gonna be fun. It's already gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, on this one, it's Garry Shandling show.
Oh, fantastic. I loved that. I had a
a
great
great
time.
show.
I had a great time doing that. I love Gary. He was very kind to me and very supportive. And it was next door to General Hospital, of course, which was great. It made it workable. I could do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And then when they wouldn't let me go do Gary, they took over the General Hospital soundstage, came over and shot an episode at General Hospital, which was great.
Wow.
Yes, you have to watch that. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Finola and I were like in that, and Shell Kepler.
Oh, always recipes too. Little one. Yeah. He's such an underrated comedian. He was such an underrated. He was so funny.
Yeah, he was great.
I'm sure you guys
Great
comedians
fun.
know
Yeah.
how funny he just was.
And very supportive of a lot of the up and coming comedians like Sarah Silverman and people. He was very supportive of a whole generation, 2 generations actually.
Yeah.
So he was a great man. I miss him.
The Flash, the original 1990 series.
Yes.
I
The comic fans over here.
Yes, that was fun. I loved that. That was kind of great. That was almost. That was a really interesting experience for me. It was like doing a movie. It was when big budget primetime, and John Wesley Shipp I knew, and Amanda
Soaps.
Pays I knew from modeling. We modeled together when we were
wow.
kids. So that was kind of interesting. I liked that. That was fun.
Well, did you guys watch The Flash when the first time it came out?
Oh, you've never heard my story with this?
No.
Frank, you go.
So in terms of, because certainly effects for television have advanced so much for like the Flash now on CW compared to the Flash then. But
Yes.
what was it like shooting all those when they're supposed to be running at super speed?
I don't think I ran it. I didn't run it. Super
Oh no, but in terms of dealing with him as John Wesley's guy,
I think they just, it was like stop and go, I think. It was kind of like he was in the frame or he was not, then he was not in the frame. And yeah, I've had, well, I don't know what else you're going to ask me, but I've had several experiences where I didn't know the show, and of course I was, standing there saying, like, what's he doing? Like, why is he in the frame and up there? And they were like, he's the Flash. And I was like, okay, but like, either he's here or he's not. I don't get that. I had another experience of that, which was pretty embarrassing. But you may get to that. I don't know.
How did we get to that?
Yeah, my dad, The Flash was his favorite superhero. So, like, I grew up because he had all the DVDs of the 1991, and he had a big stand-up of John Wesley Shipp, which he actually signed at a convention and hit on him at the same time. It's so funny. Yeah, so John Wesley Shipp is such a funny guy. Like,
I love that. Oh my God, I love that.
So I have such good memories of the Flash TV show. That's why I was like, well, you already asked it. But,
Oh,
yeah.
Well, it's funny because John C. Shipp obviously won Emmys for Ezra Turns. He did a great turn tormenting Kim and Franny back in the day. It was a great storyline, and he was on several soaps. He was just
On One Life to Live at the end,
Yeah.
he was actually even in the last episode.
Yeah,
'cause-
he's a great actor.
Or even
Yeah,
All
he's
My
funny.
Children too, when he was going after
yeah.
Dylan
Oh,
and
that's
Natalie
right. That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. There we go. Okay, of course, this is GH related. Port Charles, and he played Joshua Temple.
Yes.
Great character. I
I
love
loved
that
that.
character.
I loved it too. That was a lot of fun. I knew almost everybody there from different, different places. But we had a lot of fun. I actually think it was, I think it was a really brave thing that they did. But we as actors, because they had to kind of they were always under the 5 o'clock you have to pull the plug or blah blah. So of course we just make everything up from 4:30 till 5. But we were up at the end of the day. We just kind of improvise it all.
Wow.
And you could forget the forget the blocking. You hear camera people saying now where are they going? Just to get it done. And we had great fun. It was great for the actors. It was great fun. It was one of the funnest, I think, daytime experiences I ever had, actually. I loved it. I loved Rebecca Stabb and Michael Easton, of course, I loved, and Lynn Herring, of course.
yes.
And, yeah. And we were all, had all worked together since we were very young, so. I did a Columbo with Rebecca, way when she was she was a kid, so it was fun.
Yeah, Columbo, wow.
Yeah.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap, that was actually the other story where I'd never seen the show, and we were actually filming, and Dean Stockwell spoke, and I looked at him, and he said, "You're not supposed to see me. Don't look at me." I said, "What is that about?" Like, because I'm not. I'm like, I was like, okay, like thinking. I thought he was just like throwing like a wobbly, like kind of like star fit, and I was like, okay, I won't look at you, like shit, like. And then it was explained to me like how it works.
Yes, anyways.
But I played a vampire on that too.
You did. I played vampire. I used to love that show, and Dee Song, of course, was a child actor. Which is the show. Scott Bakula was a great show.
Yeah, and I love the girl that I played, that Roger Moore's daughter, Lisa Moore. She played my cohort, my other, like like our sort of raising eyebrow. Well, actually, which her father did so well. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in
but
peace,
like
yes.
the one raised eyebrow acting. But she and I were like, yes, we're vampires. Together.
Because of Quantum Leap, it was a show where this guy would leap into another personality at different time periods of life.
Yes.
My favorite ones, he had a disco episode, and that was my favorite ones.
Yes.
The Nanny.
Yes, great fun with Fran. I love Fran.
That's right.
I'd known Fran for years, and that was nice. It was nice to get. I got to do that. I loved that.
Alias.
Oh yes, okay. Alias.
Yeah. So you remember any of these?
Oh yes,
You've
I
done so
remember.
many.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I used to love Alias.
Yeah,
Joanna
I got
Garner
killed
was
in
there.
that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. She was lovely, that girl, the Australian girl. Can't remember. She was beautiful.
Oh, I know Mr. George.
Yeah, she was lovely.
She's done other
Really
stuff too. Yeah,
sweet.
she's done other stuff.
Yeah. It was great. I had a good time doing that. And they made a like, I don't know. So I did one episode, and they ended up using I can't remember his name, Guthrie or something. Like one of the cards in the Alias card collection thing. So
You made it in there.
I did. Yeah. I mean,
You made it in there.
I signed thousands of them, so I know it was in there somewhere.
Batman, the Brain, and the Brave and the Bold. You played Sherlock Holmes. Do you guys know any of that?
That's one of the best Batman
It
cartoon
is.
movies, actually.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't even.
Although I like playing that. What was the other one? The Humanite.
Ultrahumanite?
The Ultrahumanite. I
Yes.
love that. The Christmas story was so well done. It was lovely.
You did a couple of Batman things.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you record in the same room with Dietrich Bader?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Wow.
And I knew Diedrich through my friend Kathy Kinney, who was on.
Oh.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, who was on. What was that called? Drew Carey show.
Yeah.
Yes.
With Diedrich. So I knew Diedrich socially. So yeah, I did.
Charmed.
Charmed was
You were on
great.
several times,
Yes,
yes. I remember you on Charmed. I love Charmed.
Yes, Charmed was great. That was great fun. I loved that. With what's his name? I then did Nip Tuck with him. Julian
Yeah,
McMahon.
Big Man. I was going to ask you. That was next. Nip Tuck, of course.
Nip
Julian.
Tuck. I loved that. It was great.
Nip Tuck was
great.
such a good show, you guys. It was so good. Until they moved
Yeah.
to California, but all the Florida episodes.
Yeah,
was
all the
bomb.
Miami ones were really
What a
good.
bomb. Yeah, they were so good. Ian McMahon.
Yeah.
He did Another World. He was one of his
Yes,
first
he
starts.
did.
He did.
Yeah.
One of his starts.
Yeah.
Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah, that was great. With Gary.
Gary.
I had a great time doing that.
And last one, you did. I watched this movie. I had the VHS. I watched it. First saw it in the theater. I watched it over again on VHS. You have a small role in The Seventh Sign. with Demi
I
Moore.
do. I do.
Yes.
Yes.
You're a meteorologist.
Yes, I didn't even know what a meteorologist was actually. Yes, the first I think by the time the credits was rolled, I think I was gone.
Yes. Yes. You
But that was a big movie, and that opening sequence out in Death Valley where they had the helicopters and stuff.
Yes.
And I got in a little bit of trouble because I cracked myself up because I was supposed to say Ben Gurion or something. I kept saying Ben Gazzara. I couldn't stop. I just had this term for something like in the desert. So the other actor and I was a laugh while the three helicopters, $10,000 a piece, are flying overhead. We're both like,
Come on, guys.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's how you learn. You don't do that.
It was on the other day, and she was like, "I will die for you." She raises for her baby, and it gets the hand, and she dies.
Oh, it was Demi. Yeah,
Demi Moore.
Sweet,
The one tear down her eye. She was all
Yeah.
famous for that back then.
Yeah.
She was like a baby back then.
Yeah.
God, we were all babies back then. It's kind of crazy. Now you did we talked a little bit on the other show. You did Ladies of the Lake, which
Yes.
was saying there's a whole. I just want to ask you, how's it doing something that has a lot of soap actors on it? There's a bunch of soap actors on it. I mean, from Gordon Thompson, everybody, all places people on this show. How it's doing something that was a different medium than like television or movie. It was a web thing.
Well, yeah, it was the first web thing I'd done, and I think I got lucky because I'd been looking at things and being asked to do stuff, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I got lucky with that because the quality was great, and the writing was great, and I just loved. It was just a great experience. It was really cool.
Shout out to Michael and Kyle.
Yes,
everybody.
absolutely.
And your off-screen wife.
Lily Melgar.
Lily Melgar, who played
Lily Melgar, who stalked me for years.
Yes.
But I knew she was. So it was
Yes.
great.
Now we're going to show a clip from Twin Peaks.
Oh, Lord.
And I know Lacretia has some questions to ask. We're going to show a clip. This is back in the day. Let's show this.
Dick? Could you come with me, please?
I love her.
Yeah.
All right, Kimmy.
Okay, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to keep my baby.
Oh,
That's not open for discussion.
I see. Be quiet. Let her talk. Gotta like.
Look at that. A cigarette. It's crazy.
No. You were saying?
There's only one way to handle this. They have a test to determine the blood type of the father. Could be you, or it could be you. They won't be doing this test until after the baby is born, during which time I expect complete cooperation from each of you two gentlemen.
Whatever you say, Lucy. I mean, it is your baby.
This is so David Lynch. It's just so David Lynch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lucretia.
Well, so the baby, Wally Brando, has appeared in the return of Twin Peaks, played by, huge spoiler, guys, if you haven't watched it, just warning, by Michael Cera, a lovable, actor from Arrested Development and stuff. But they've never said whether Andy or Dick was Wally's father.
Oh, they haven't said that?
No.
I thought
No, they
I thought
haven't
they'd
confirmed
established
it.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she said that she just wants Andy in the original. They never said either way if she did the test.
Oh.
Yeah. So do you think you're the father of Wally Brando?
Wally Brando. Oh, does he look like from Marlon Brando from the movie on the bicycle with the motorcycle?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they did the full on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he could be my son.
He definitely has your charisma.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's why they need to have Dick Tremaine back if they make
Dick.
some
Yes.
more, right?
Yeah.
They make more.
Yeah, because that's a big plot hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dick. I don't feel Dick.
Dick was such a dick.
Every time they walked in a room, people go, Dick.
What was it like working with David Lynch? Because, he's such a character himself.
Well, I think I probably worked more with him on the air because
yes, yeah.
But he's great. He's great. I had a great time with him, and he's very he kind of encourages you to kind of explore areas and things you probably normally wouldn't, and then just abandons you once you're out there.
Yeah, I hear it's a lot of improv.
Now
Yeah.
he has this David Lynch Foundation which treats post-traumatic stress disorder. And when I saw him a couple of months ago, I said, does that include people who've worked with you? Oh, he has this meditation and all this great stuff, and he was like, you're so funny, Dick. You're so funny. I was like, actually not. But he's terrific, and the work he's doing now is phenomenal. Not just Twin Peaks, but also with the David Lynch Foundation has been phenomenal, and he's a wonderful person, wonderful man.
That's great. It's a shame that On the Air didn't,
I know.
last.
I know.
That
I
was
liked
such an
it.
interesting
I
one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. Didn't
That taught, I think, for Miguel and Nancy and David and all of us on that, I think we kind of, we realized a year later, well, that'll teach us for having more fun than we ever had in our lives. Because we were completely it was just such it was great fun with all, different, Betty Thomas directing and different people, and Caleb Deschanel, and, just, it was great guest directors, and every, I think we did 9, I'm not sure, I think there's maybe 2 missing someplace. But it was just great. It was just great with great guest stars and stuff. We loved it. I loved it. Every single. Bit of it.
What was it like when you're shooting Twin Peaks though at the time, and it's got such a hold on the television audience?
Yes.
People coming up to you asking, Ian, what's going on with the show? Can you tell us? And were you like, I don't have.
Well,
any
I
idea."
didn't know. I mean, we really didn't know because I kind of I thought. I mean, I thought, well, this is great. I'm going to do Twin Peaks and work with David Lynch, and then I won't be doing soap operas anymore. And I ended up doing a soap opera, like, because it was like, you know, Dick and Andy and Lucci, like with their little love triangle. And I never knew what else was going on. I never read it. There was sometimes I'd go in with a very specific call time. And I go into the makeup trailer and there'd be fingernails and blood and hanks of hair lying all over the place. And I'd be, what on earth is going on? And they were like, so we meant to clean, you know, it's not part of your story. And I was like, oh, good God. Like, so it was kind of weird. I had no clue. So people could ask me, but I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, I actually remember watching as a viewer, because I was in my 20s at the time, and we had to wait every week to watch it. There was no social media.
Yeah.
It was
People had parties.
Yeah,
People had
get together at parties,
yeah.
and I remember the magazines would come out, and that's when you were like, Rolling Stone came out with the 3 girls, and then EW came. It's like we were all clamoring because you didn't know nothing.
Right.
And after it was over, we would all call each other on our phones, our home phones. We'd call each other like, did you see that? Like, what was that? Did you see that? What was that? It was the craziest thing.
Well, I just read something, I think a headline on something, on maybe just on the Yahoo homepage, maybe last week, that said that the Twin Peaks episode last week was probably the greatest episode of any television show ever, but not enough people got to see it because nobody knew what to expect, so nobody was given any clues or hints or nobody said so. But of course, people will discover it, and you know. But it was just he's pretty remarkable. He loves mystery, which is the great thing. It's the thing that I kind of totally I understand and respect. It's not. It's just mystery. There is mystery to life. That's the great thing, and that's what he's really, really good at. Like, you know,
his movies and everything. I mean, just all his stuff.
Yes.
And he back in the 80s, he was pumping. In the 90s, he was pumping it out.
Yes.
I mean, everything he touched, Blue Velvet, everything was just like such a Mulholland Drive. Everything he was pulling it out.
Yeah, I love Mulholland Drive.
So do I. I didn't watch it twice though to kind of get it. I watched the first time. I was like, I need to see that again. Went to the theater again to see it the second time.
Yeah, it's a great double feature with Sunset Boulevard, actually.
Oh yeah. So good. Now let's go. We're going to throw a clip to you. You've done Days of Our Lives twice. You were Lord Sheraton at one point. But here's a promo of you as Ian Buchanan.
Valentine's proposal, followed by one big bombshell.
I'm Madison's loving husband.
After another.
I'd like you to meet the new CEO of Titan.
Days of Our Lives.
You take him down. That's right. Okay, so I remember you. What the first time you came, was that during that whole massacre scene or something? You were
It was
Lord?
somebody was being coronated a princess and
Greta
in Paris or something.
Yes, they invite all you soap guys and women from
Yeah,
other
Leslie
shows.
Ann Down played.
Yes.
She played Lady. We played Lord and Lady Sheraton.
Yes. People got shot and stuff. It was that attractive.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, I remember when there was the big. I think on the Friday night we'd worked like all week, and the Friday night they said there's gonna be a big explosion. And, you know, it's gonna be glass flying everywhere. And, you know, and once the explosions like happened, like everybody just be still and like so we can just clean up the glass. Nobody move. And so I was dancing with Leslie Ann Down, and she had a kind of spangly kind of like dress thing on, all sequins. And the explosion happened, and we fell to the ground, and my face slid down her dress, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, am I the only person bleeding? I'm so embarrassed. So they were like, so she's going like, "Oh my God, he's bleeding!" And I was like, "Shut up! Shut up! This is like a nightmare." Like my whole face was all sparkles and all like sequins. I was like, "It's fun." Like, ridiculous. She and I had a lot of fun. We got in trouble.
But she seems like she's a hoot herself anyway.
Yeah, she is. She and I got in trouble.
And then when you came back, you get to work with my buddies, Eric Martzoff, Lauren Koslow.
Yes, I love. Lauren is just like she's great. I love her.
Well, she is so hip too.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I see her, she's so nice. She has her nails and her blue streaks and all that stuff. I mean, she's the best. And Eric Martzoff's so funny. But you got to work with Sarah Brown, who of course was huge on General Hospital while you were gone, while you were stunts. What's it like working with her?
Great. She was great. I love her. I had a great time. I had a great time with all of them. It was really great. It was a great. I think it was short-lived, of course. But, but I had a good time when I was there.
How was it kind of run differently than General Hospital? Or Bold and
How
Beautiful?
is that show run different?
Yeah,
Every
different.
show's different. There's a different tone on every show. Without naming names and maybe not being as.
It's just us. You say anything you want. No one's listening or watching. It's
Nobody's
just us.
listening or watching.
Nobody's here. Nobody in chat rooms.
Yes. I'll tell you later.
But that's fun. So I mean, it was nice that you were asked back. You got to go once as kind of like.
No,
this.
I didn't. I had a really good time, except that I just was in my nice dressing room and was just hanging like a picture on the wall and a knock on the door saying, I think you have to go to speak to the producers. I think you may be done. I was like, oh, okay. So the picture's not even on the wall. So I was like, well, all right.
No, we're going to go to one of your more controversial roles on a soap, and all three of us know All My Children. We're going to show a little promo to this one.
Oh.
This is your life.
He took the secret of her child to the grave.
I'll never find my daughter again.
Now,
He turned this town against him. You caused this.
everyone is a suspect, and everyone wants to know.
Did you kill Greg Manning?
Watch All My Children weeknights at 8 on SoapNet.
I'm gonna let them take over a little bit, but I just want to say, because you guys don't realize this, he's part of the unabortion storyline.
Yes.
Susan Lucci was an actress who played Erica Kane. The first abortion on daytime television back in 1974, I believe it was. While Roe vs. Wade was happening, and also was happening, she had an abortion. And that was a very strong moment. They decided to give Erica a son, I guess, and you come on.
Yeah.
Greg Madden.
Yeah. Really like a really despicable gynecologist. I didn't. Julie Corrales was producing the show, and she called, and the only part I heard was like, "Do you want to come to New York? Do you want to like?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." I didn't hear the whole fetus part. Like, I'll take Manhattan. It wasn't like I'll take the fetus. I was like, and then when I was like, seriously, like this is people are gonna hate me. Well. Like on the days that I worked, the prop department had T-shirts that they would wear that said "Dick Doc at your cervix," which was I was like, oh my, like it was just like hated on set, hated by because that was such a huge story, and of course it, I don't know why they chose to dismantle that. I think they were making room for the chew or something. So.
Burn.
Yes. Do you have any questions about All My Children?
Yeah, that's the thing is, and I can't even look at Colin Egglesfield without even thinking he's the unaborted fetus, and you're like, he's such a hot guy, but that's all you think of.
Yeah, he's great. He was great.
Yeah.
I had a great time with him.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful time
Your
with
son,
him.
basically.
My son.
Yeah, how awesome is it though? Is like that was such an iconic storyline, but then you're known for the guy who successfully undid an abortion. You know, that's got to be pretty big.
I
don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, well, there you go.
That was about 12 years ago, you guys. I mean, that was like 2005.
I had a great time. I was in New York for 15 months, I think, and I loved it. I loved being there, and I was doing my doing the Citizens Band, the political cabaret at the same time. So that was kind of like it was a great year.
Isn't it fun, kind of back in New York? This whole different situation in New York where you can take subways and to get to work instead of here. Now you got to drive.
I cycled. Actually, I cycled.
You cycled? Okay.
Yeah, I cycled all my because they'd see Joy Bear. I'd always cycle up the cycle path on the west side because
West 66 is where it was. I used to go there all the time.
And I'd always Joy, and I would always arrive at the same time. Me and my bike, and her in the back seat of her town car, and she would always be because she wrote Garry Shandling, so I'd known her for years. And she was always like, "Oh my, they want to set a car for you." I was like, "This is a choice, Joy. This is a choice. Look at me. Look at me." Like,
Yes, it was on West 66. I actually found a picture of myself standing in front of her once. I was stalking Barbara Walters.
Oh yeah.
I saw Bill Getty though come out.
Yes.
And I was like, he's so tall. I was like, oh my god. I was like, Bill Getty, I'm right here. He's like, whatever. And he went to his car. But it's a beautiful side. Whipworth side's beautiful over there. Lots of trees and tall.
Yeah, and there's that beautiful park all the way
Yes.
down. Well, I lived way down in the village on Horatio, so on the cycle path, I just cycled all the way up. Took me 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yep.
You must have great legs back then, too. You were working it out, weren't you?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, sure. Cycling's big. But yeah, so you were part of and you were buried alive. That was the big thing of the clip. You were buried alive. That sucks.
Yeah, yeah, I did. It was hard. Well, the interesting thing was I got to go into work at the end of the day for like every day for 3 weeks, and it was just me in a glass box with mud and water, and then the earthquake happened, which was like a little added, like, oh, hang on a second, how's that going to work? Which was me in a box with mud and water, glass perspex box, and all the prop department like rocking the box, and I was like literally, like,
wow,
yeah, like freaking out, totally freaking out.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're on to the last 2 big soaps that you guys know you were waiting for, and he's been on. This is one of I mentioned on our other show, my favorite scenes of yours recently was when you give your monologue about why you chose to work for Sonny, how you feel like a man. This is my second favorite scene of yours of recent. Show this.
Yes. When I'm with Griffin, I feel like a part of you is in the room with me. He has a presence about him. He's very strong. But peaceful somehow. Emma met him. Oh, she's head over heels for him.
Oh, Emma. I always felt like Robin and Emma were my own family. But now, I have a son. And I'm missing all of it. I had so much life to live.
Just love that scene. You and Finola were in it.
That music's beautiful.
Yeah, music's beautiful too. But I mean, like,
seen that.
first of all, Finola can do anything. She can do anything. We just, I mean, every scene she's in with everybody is just a phenomenal. But you two, obviously, the years of just you've known each other. Outside, inside, on the set, off the set. It seemed like it came together in that scene because you were back as her Lucci. You were not really there.
Yeah, I was at her apparition.
Yeah,
which was because we're so close. And, we're learning the dialogue, and I was like, why did I keep saying like you've never been more beautiful? Why do I have to keep saying that? She goes, because it's my apparition. I'm like, okay, right. So isn't just once enough? She goes, no, you'll say it, and you'll like. So every scene I was like, I'd look at her and say, you've never been more beautiful. This is killing me.
And RHDA8386 in the chat says Dick Doc in a box.
Oh my God, in a box.
We should make sure it's.
Who was that? Is that?
RHDA8386.
Oh.
Now, forgive me if this has already been asked on the GH Report when you were on there, but when they did the whole big culmination of the Olivia Jerome storyline, and you come back just for those hallucinations that Olivia has, that was, I felt like that was such a, it was like, all right, that was really cool that you just came back for that moment.
Yeah.
So when they reached out to you, was that just like a no-brainer for you to say, like, yeah, anything I can do to kind of add to this storyline?
Sure.
We got time to walk her back. We got to do what we need. Come on the show. Come visit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain point where you kind of, you have to let go of think, I know the character's mine. You just have to say, you know what, like whatever you have in store is fine. I don't know, like you fight. There's certain battles that you fight, and then other times you say, okay, whatever, like that's fine. I'll get to see everybody and get a paycheck, and I was very aware of how disappointed a lot of the fan base were, and a lot of, just disappointed in a legacy character being killed for absolutely not a great reason, I guess.
You say it. We agree.
And I kind of was very aware of that, so I was very sensitive to that. And, at the same time, I wanted to try to keep it as alive as I could, but, so, whatever. It's what it is. It's all what it is.
I guess after a while you learn that, don't you, in this business? It's kind of like, they call me up, I'm here, I'm available, let's do it. Although you let go of all the tight hold of all the stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you kind of, you do. I mean, it's you just realize it's like, I see, I have great respect for people who actually fight for the legacy of their characters and everything else, but, I mean, I sort of look at the same people not fighting for that in their lives, and I'm like, really? So, I tend to put the value in my own life, and the people that are around me, and the people that I share my life with, and I tend to make that the priority.
What was it like being called back after 23 years?
That was actually very nice. I liked that a lot. I was a little apprehensive about it because it had always been something that I think a character that meant so much to me that I always kind of kept a piece of him just alive, and a lot of the audience kept him alive too. So it was I think when I first did Port Charles, it was kind of a big step for Julie Carruthers really fought because people were like, well, it's Duke and he's known as Duke, and they may want to be Duke sometime. And I think at some point somebody said, it's never going to be Duke ever again. So you might as well So I did Port Charles with Julie and did All My Children with Julie, and then at the end of that became Duke for the anniversary, the 50th anniversary, which was great, and I loved it. It was great fun, and I liked it so much that they asked if I'd stick around for a little bit, and I did. So it was.
We like that because they're bringing everybody back for 50th anniversary. And like, oh, you're actually keeping him around. Okay, good.
Yes. Yes, it was nice.
For you having him off the canvas for so long, when they approached you to come back, did you, before you signed up, was it any how is this going to happen? Was it important to you to know how Duke comes back?
No, I didn't know. I had no idea. Actually, it was. I think we'd actually started playing it, and then I had no idea it was going to be Faison on a mask. I didn't know that but then when I knew that, then I got to play it a little differently. But initially, I didn't know that. We didn't know that.
Oh, Faison on a mask. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's right.
I was Faison on a mask.
Yeah. See on soaps.
That's right.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot about that for a second. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was fun though. I loved that. It was good. It was very fun.
And, how do you feel like in terms of when you were first on Port Charles or General Hospital, in terms of how they treated the mob stories compared to when you came back the second time, in terms of how the mob stories were treated?
Well, it was. I think initially, in the '80s, the mob thing was, Gloria, Monty, and Norma kind of wanted to sort of make it sort of reminiscent or kind of like 30s, 40s movies, with the kind of slick kind of, and that was definitely like the tone. I think it's changed. I sort of liked it. I mean, I loved working with Maurice and it's like I like that whole sort of underworld or whatever it is. What are they called? Underworld.
Underworld.
Yeah. I sort of like that. I like being around that. It's kind of fun, The only thing I didn't want to do was get in the ring and box with Maurice. I was like, don't make me do that. I will not do that. But of course, I'd learned a long time ago, never express what you're afraid of.
Exactly.
Because the walls have ears. And next thing you know, you're going to read it in the script. So I would say to Maurice, I'm not getting a ring box with you. I am not doing it. I don't care who you ask. I don't care who you beg. It's not going to happen. And remember, I got the Emmy that year. We were both in the same category, and I won. So, no boxing.
I did like that relationship though between you and Sonny because I feel like there's very few people that you feel like Sonny looks up to or holds in really high esteem.
Right.
And Duke had that coming right in. I mean, Sonny really respected everything that Duke had accomplished.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely. Time's going by so fast. The last thing we want to talk about is, of course, your other iconic soap role, Dr. James Warwick, where you won that Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
You did win an Emmy. What was it like winning an Emmy? You remember it all?
I do remember. I remember being, I don't know how many, I was nominated several times.
Yeah.
And I always would be kind of like, and of course we had to go to New York for the week, and it was Radio City, and there were parties, and it was great, rainbow room parties, and it was always a great celebration of daytime and everything. But I would always be kind of like, yeah, well, all right, I'm nominated, and I'd be the last to get enthusiastic about it because I didn't want to be disappointed. So I kind of was like, every year somebody would take me aside and say very quietly, like on the morning of, like, word is you're the favorite. And I would be like, really? No. And then, of course, the day would turn into I'd be like, oh my gosh, like the favorite. And then, of course, at the end, I'd be like, well, that didn't work out so well. So then the year I won, it was like the most, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best nights of my life, actually. Because Regis and Susan Lucci were hosting. And
your castmates gave it to you, I think, actually. I think two of your castmates gave it to you.
Wasn't it? No, that was somebody else. It was, who was it? No, it was Hunter and...
Oh, yes.
Hunter and Windsor Harmon, I think. Yeah.
Yes, they were castmates, yes. Because, James did lose his virginity to... Was it to Taylor?
To Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah.
A grown virgin.
Yeah, he was 40 years old, I
Yes,
think.
yes,
Yeah,
he was. He was like
yeah.
an old virgin.
Well, they were in an earthquake.
Yeah, they were like in a cabin.
in a snowstorm.
Yes.
So he said to her, "It's frozen stiff. You might as well climb. You might as well just climb on it. We're both gonna die. We're both gonna die. Who'll know? Nobody will know." Of course, Stephanie knew immediately.
Yes, exactly.
Like, yeah.
Oh, she's a Flannery. Okay, we're gonna show a quick clip because the best kept secret in daytime just happened 2 weeks ago. Kimberly Brown is back as Sheila Carter, which was like no one knew this was happening, and this is amazing. This is one of his major scene partners.
Yes, he just left.
No, he's got to be exhausted.
Sure he is. Thank you very much.
For what?
For a lovely evening. You made my father feel very much at home. I appreciate that.
He's a very sweet man.
He is. I need to ask you something.
Anything.
You said something earlier about no secrets. Did you mean that?
Yes. Absolutely.
Sheila.
Good. Because I need to ask you a question, and I expect an honest answer from you.
The music.
Did you poison Stephanie Forrester?
I'll leave it at that point. You get to go online and watch it and find out what the answer is. Because she talks about her mother and her past, which was on Young and Restless, of course. But your frequent scene partner for a while was Kimberly Brown. What was it like to work with her?
Great. Love working with her.
She's so...
And also Jimmy Doohan, who played my father. Jimmy
yes.
Who was, of course, the catchphrase. He played my abusive father. And, of course, his catchphrase was, "Beat me up, Scotty." But, of course, the catchphrase quickly became, "Beat me up, Scotty." Very funny. I loved him. He was like, we had so much fun. But Kimberlyn is terrific. I haven't seen her. I have to
She looks great. First, she looks great.
Yeah, I saw her, actually. What did we do? The photograph for the...
The 30th anniversary just happened.
30th anniversary photograph. So I saw her then when we did that.
She's doing
the
amazing.
alumni.
The alumni. Yeah, right now it's 30 years on Bold and Beautiful right now, so they're bringing all these people back, and it's really interesting. But then people want you back on the show. They're already saying, "Where's James? Where's James? Where's James?"
Right. Well, I shall.
I'll
leave my phone on.
Maybe you answer this time.
Yeah, I will. I'm very notorious for not answering it. So.
But
what do they want?
What do they want from me? Why bother me? But I had to show that because that's another one of your iconic roles.
She and I actually had a great. And with Barbara Crampton, the three of us, we had a great working relationship. A lot of fun, and the quality of that show is so superb.
Well, you know, it's the only one that's a nighttime. It's sold as a nighttime soap across the world.
The world, yes, it goes to I think 90 countries.
Isn't that crazy?
They sometimes double up and make it a prime time, so 2 episodes a night or something. So.
I mean, so you got to deal with this international. I mean, you got to have fame here, obviously, on the soap, but then also internationally. Did you ever go to Monte Carlo when he went over there?
I've done that. Went to Russia, went to China. We went, like a lot of Italy and Holland and places where.
But you ever think? I mean, you're on a soap opera. Did you ever think that would lead you to Russia and Italy and did you ever? I mean, it wasn't really in there, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? It's all like. Right. It just I was. Say that I'd sort of make it. When I was younger, I decided I just let things unfold as opposed to me unravel. So I just leave everything alone. It's just leave it alone, let it be what it is. Keep out of the way. Just let it
Any questions? Anything going on there?
Yeah, Frank.
Oh, I apologize because I came in. I missed the GH report, so I don't want to tread over ground that's already been talked about. Can we fill you in any way? So, I mean, this week, as you probably talked about, they had the big thing with Andre Maddox and Anna dancing.
Yes.
And that was always such a nice connection between you and Finola when you would do those tango scenes. What was it about? Did you guys, was that like a special time where you're like, hey, we get a chance to just kind of cut loose and just dance? Or is that always kind of like...
Well, she felt that way. I never felt that way. Well, and we joke about it, and it's not like, because it was like way back in, like, when they decided, of course, I think Gloria took us to see Argentina or Forever, whatever, the big tango show, and then set up classes and lessons, and Finola was a dancer, and I was never a dancer. So it would just be her, like, dancing around. So it's, like, the many times we get to do it, of course, I'd be like, what? A tango? No, I can't, like, what? So she would, like, I remember the last time last time, the second to last time. Well, first of all, I mean, the fact that they'd cut in from, like 30 years ago to present day, to, I was like, what? You can't do that. That's like, no. But the last time we did it, I said, my back is, I don't know what I'm going to do. She goes, oh, that's all right. We'll keep it simple. So I said, well, how simple? She goes, well, you stand there. And so I said, what will you do? So she goes, I'll just keep it simple. So, we're just about to go to tape and we've finished the choreography. And I'm really just like, and I turn around and I said, like, she's behind me doing what? And I was like, what happened to simple? Like, you're making me look like what is this? So then, of course, I got motivated to kind of stick my leg out and travel across the stage. So, right? But it always works out. She, of course, liked it more than I did. But
she's a dancer.
She's a dancer.
And she also it took some time off from the show because she was working on a project. Was it a film that you were on there as well?
Yes, but I think we're doing that probably next summer. I believe. I think that was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So how's it going to feel when you have her in the director's chair as opposed to co-star?
Well, she's pretty bossy. I've always said from the very beginning. I said she can be the boss. It's fine. I don't need to. Like, she's pretty she's pretty bossy.
And she like you like it.
Yeah, which is great. I'm totally fine with that. It's like, oh, you can go on. I don't take the blame. I don't take the credit. It's totally fine. Like, you can come on, make decisions. I'll just do it.
So overall, when we come to you, we show you clips, we talk to you about your past stuff, and nowadays, how does it feel for you these days? Do you feel like I accomplished something? I did something. I got a career, and I actually did something. How does that make you feel?
I feel pretty good about it. I see definitely where there were times where there were choices that things that I could have, I could have gone, done one thing or done the other, and I don't think I stayed in my comfort zone because I always get terrified just to go to work. It's just as because I want to be good. I don't want to be, I don't want to phone it in, or I really want to be my best and bring my best and be on my, best behavior and give something that is just important, do something that's important. So I think there were times maybe when I didn't want to be unhappy, and sometimes the bigger things there was a lot of negativity and unhappiness, and that didn't really suit me so much. I think I tend to be more creative when I'm comfortable and I'm not, sort of taking knives up my back. So I think that kind of was, but I look back on things where it could have been, some things may have been different, but I'm very happy with the way things have played out and worked out. And as you say, I don't have too many enemies.
No, I try to say he is. We know a lot of people in common. They said he's one of the most liked people in Hollywood. People have said so many great things about you. When I mention your name, it's just not everybody gets that same pleasure. But people, every time I mention your name to people that we both know, they're like, oh, why are you gonna love me so? Why are you so nice and blah blah. And it's just like I want you to know that. It's like some people.
Well, I remember somebody who actually was pretty senior at MGM, and I knew his daughter socially, and I met him, and he said, the secret is in this town, the less people that roll their eyes when your name is mentioned, the better. I said, isn't there more to it than that? He goes, no. That's all that matters. I was like, okay, so let's work on that.
I like that, actually.
Yes. There's nothing worse than a table with executives and your name comes up and they go, that's the death.
You can follow him on Kill Trip USA on Twitter, of course. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I've loved this.
This was so wonderful. Yeah. You are royalty. You're royalty. So glad to have you on here. All three of us are very excited to have you here.
Very nice meeting you. Thank you very much.
And of course, you can follow us on GH Report every Sunday here on AfterBuzz TV. Tell me where they can follow you guys.
As one of the most hated people, you can follow me and share your hate with me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie.
And I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
Everybody in here just saying they love your voice. They're glad you are on here. Thank you very much for being on here.
Thank you.
I'm James Lott Jr., and you can follow me at James Lott Jr. everywhere. Just that simple, and we'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Frank, I said we love you.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.